broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show for Blood and Oil on ABC, tonight's episode of The Birthday Party. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and we have a full panel to break down this juicy episode. Introduce yourselves, folks.
Hey guys, Lauren Salaun here. You can find me on Twitter at Lauren Salaun.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda Richards. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at AmandaFTA31.
Hey guys, I'm Howard III. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Howard III. That's Howard 3RD.
Perfect. All right, you guys can find me over on Twitter at Grants__rants. All right, let's get into the birthday party, and we'll start off with your overall impression so far. We have two new voices here on the panel tonight.
Yay.
And I want to know, what do you think so far? We're a couple episodes in. We've been introduced to a lot of people. You know, who are you liking? How are you feeling about the show thus far?
So this show for me is my guilty pleasure, for sure. I was a huge Revenge fan, and then when that got canceled, I saw that this was coming out, and I was like, oh, perfect. Plus it's Chace Crawford, who I adore. So I was like, great, this is going to be my new guilty pleasure, which it has proven to be. I'm really loving his character. I love Dan Johnson's character, who is like the evil man, but you could see so many ties into Revenge and like different shows like that. Like he's the Conrad Grayson, which I love. So I'm very excited about that. I love Carla. I think she's like the Lady Macbeth of the piece. So I'm loving all the evil villains of the show for sure.
Same here. Yeah. I'm loving Carla, the wife. I think something about her is just so dark and twisted. Like, I know she's going to give us something good at the end. Like, I just believe it. I'm loving her. And I'm liking Jules. I think there's another layer to Jules that we haven't quite seen yet. So I'm really excited about her character. And the show overall, it's okay. You know, I'm just...
No, I'm with you. There are a few dynamic characters that are definitely interesting to watch, and the show, you know, there's more to come.
Yeah, we just got to really get into the flow of things. It's kind of starting off a little slow, but you know, I think once the show starts to really pick up and we get good writing and all that, it'll be great.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why I haven't thought of it being so similar to Revenge before, because I loved Revenge and watched it, but at the same time, and it was so soap opera-y. But at the same time, there were definitely places where you were like, okay, that's so unrealistic, but it's Revenge. So that's this kind of crap happens. So, and I feel like we have those moments a lot with Blood and Oil too, where these things that are like, well, that's a little too convenient or a little too sneaky and happen to just work out. And I feel like that happens a lot, but I'm letting it slide so far. It's got that kind of similarity to Revenge for me.
See, I'm a little tough on the show because I'm a reality TV guy, so to me it's like,
same here.
It's hard for me to buy into, you know, to getting into the like all the computer text that comes up like since like 1980 when everyone's like hacking a computer. It always looks the same. Like it's just everything. There's a very easy element to things, and we all know, living in LA in general, like things aren't that easy. You can't get to things that quickly, and you know, like they told that AJ character he had 36 hours to figure it out. I'm like, oh, good luck. Good luck. So, I mean, who the hell knows? Let's talk about the details of the show, of tonight's episode. So Sheriff Tip is on the case, really, though, when it comes to what went on. And, you know, he has Gary in custody at the top of the show, and or he arrested Gary, and they had in a little interrogation. And so he's been going on and figuring out that, going through Gary's phone and found out that Spink's phone, right?
Yes.
That was it. Yeah, okay. So 2 hours before he died, he had called the criminal hotline. So, like, we're right into it from the beginning. So he's now going to have to interrogate Gary, and then of course we saw his conversation with Wick. What do you think so far? I thought this might have been the episode where things were revealed.
I thought we were going to see a little bit more, and I appreciate, but again, this is one of the things that did seem a little too convenient, where he's like, he said he wasn't one of the guys or the dudes.
Yeah.
He said dudes, not dude. Who did it? I'm like, whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't. He could just as easily not be one of the dudes for real. You know, so I like that they're running with that, and I think the sheriff is on the right track for sure. But I'm worried about the sheriff. I don't want something bad to happen to him because he's getting too close to the scent.
Well, yeah. It would be easy for, like, Wick to knock him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the father has such a great relationship with the sheriff that he would suspect something if Wick just killed the sheriff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't think that he'd be like, that sucks, the sheriff is dead, but, you know.
And I don't think
how did that happen?
I don't think Wick is game to take anything further than it's already gone. I think Gary, for sure, would be the one who is all loose cannon and crazy acting and would do something like that. But I don't think Wick is comfortable right now with how far things have gotten and is trying to distance himself.
Yeah, I could see
the whole
Wick
situation.
like just paying off everybody. Just everybody, you get 10 stacks, you get 10 stacks, done. I could just see that happening.
Well, yeah, being like, playboy, like, guy who grew up with money, like, that's kind of, a move that you could make when you come from that lifestyle, so it would make sense. So the sheriff told Wick that, he wants to know kind of where he was, and he's expecting a full report at some point of the whole order of events from that night. And Wick, and we pointed out on this show, and I know, Lauren, you did, that Wick's story kind of changes, and so now, like, the sheriff thinks that Gary is the alibi, but, that now Wick is saying, I passed out early, so now it's a new element added to his story.
Right, and he's like, you're going to have to account for that whole time after you passed out, and, someone's going to have to vouch for you. So we'll see what happens there, because we know that Jules is a little suspicious of him, too, at this point. And so who knows if he's going to have to maybe ask her to lie as his alibi? You never know.
She's a smart woman. She's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jules, she owns her own business. She's a smart woman.
She's
smart
in the middle of
smart cookie.
She's at the center of the show, and I didn't expect her character to be such a real core, character. And I first was introduced to her, So it's good to see. She's really kind of taking over, especially with being between two men.
I know, father son. Watch out.
Talk about soap opera. It's like insane,
Yeah.
insane. And when she's with Hap, it's like it grosses me out. I think it's so yucky.
Well, we talked about
She's
this
too young
last
for
week.
him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that happens in the real world, but it's still gross to me.
So you don't feel any heat or any type of sexual tension between these two at all? You're not like, if they're not like anything that you don't see the the romance at all.
I mean, I see the romance. They show us the romance, but I like when it like makes my stomach turn. Like, why are they doing that? I just feel bad for the actress. I mean, not that he's not a very attractive
I think
man.
Don Johnson's Fox.
No, I do
guy.
too, but it's like she's just too young. She's just way too young.
I think she's like 30 in real life, so it's doable.
We debate
maybe
their
I'm crazy.
chemistry. We just debate the
I don't,
chemistry.
I don't have a problem with it on principle or with the actors, that sort of thing. I just don't feel the chemistry between them. Like, I don't see the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it.
I'm the same way. I need to see a little bit more chemistry between those two. It kind of feels like, hey, grandpa and hey, granddaughter type of vibe. Like, allow me to really believe you love this man, and it's not just your next sugar daddy. Like, come on, bring me some love, bring me some heart in this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will give it to them. When they had the birthday party scene and she showed up and she had the necklace on and he approached her and he was supposed to show her around, the way he looked at her, they had a moment, and that was the first time I felt like, okay, these two do have a connection. So that's just my POV.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Alright.
And when they're at her place and he's like, this is as real as it gets. Like, those moments, I felt like I could feel it more, a lot more than when they are being intimate, like physically with one another.
Yeah, you got it.
So it's in those moments with tension and all that, I can I buy it more.
After he gave her the necklace, we buy it more.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
The funny thing about that, when she's like messing with the necklace and everything, it literally sounds like, okay, this necklace I'm wearing, these are like plastic gemstones. That's what it sounded like when she was playing with it. It sounded like costume jewelry. It does not sound like diamonds or real, like, you know. So
Hap,
no,
come on.
No, that's like, hey, sound design person, make it sound like real diamonds.
Yeah.
They did not go to Cardin for the diamond.
Yes, we expect high-end jewelry on the show.
Everything needs to be from Tiffany's.
Yes, if this was to be like a prime himself like Dynasty, let's do it. So Hap is really kind of on. He's thinking now. He even when it comes to Wick, he's thinking that there could be a possibility, and he goes and has this really dramatic scene that we all saw with Gary, where he goes through with his hat on. And he calls Gary to the carpet, and Gary was whatting in his pants, looking at Hap.
Yeah,
and it was a good dramatic scene. I like that Gary did not snitch.
Yeah.
It was intense, right? What'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. I was like, get him, Hap. I wanted to see like it escalate a little bit more. And I love Hap. I love how like cutthroat and kind of backstabby he is. I don't think it's necessarily like a good thing to be doing, but I love his character. And I love seeing him do all these like weaselly things. And so I wanted a little bit more drama there, but I liked how, we see him being such a charming businessman and great with people and all that, and then we also see how and we've seen this numerous times, how he is somebody that you do not want to mess with, and so I like seeing those moments. I loved it.
He's the devil. In the past 2 episodes, they've called him the devil, which he was never called before. And I love how in that scene, I think they have some great one-liners on the show, and I love how at that scene he said to him, he's like, if I find you again, or if I find you lying, you will not hear me next time. Like, I will be there, and I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And it was just so, he's a businessman, he's charming, so he doesn't say it in like in an evil way, but you can tell there's evil behind those eyes.
And I like that he has so much money, and he could easily hire somebody to go shake Gary down, or go kill him if he needs to. But I believe that Hap would go do it himself. I like that in my contract killings. Do it yourself.
Just the fact that whenever there's a problem, he's the one that goes down, because that's how he got himself out of that meeting with his daughter and Carla, is he was like, I have to go I have to go help somebody with something out in the fields. So he is that type of businessman that will go out and will, be in part of everything. And that makes him a good businessman.
Hap is pretty smooth, even with Jules, and some of the lines that he was saying when they were together privately, he's saying, "You're not the other woman, not to me." It's very smooth. And what else did he say? He said, "I'm never gonna let you go, never." It's like, what woman doesn't want to hear that if she's like not over him? Like he's playing the game. But I wonder where Carla is going to fit in this whole picture, though, because he doesn't even talk about her.
I know.
No.
Poor Carla.
I honestly thought that there was going to be something up her sleeve for that birthday party. I'm like, she knows. She's going to confront him about it, because we know that it's coming out soon, And so I thought something was going to happen there, or she was going to catch them or see something and then keep smoldering and like planning her big attack, because she's very good at the observing and then keeping it in sort of thing. And obviously we didn't see that, but I think it's just a matter of time before Carla lays it down.
Carla, I hope you didn't sign a prenuptial agreement. I really hope you didn't, because she could that could be a huge
twist. She did. I think she had some of her own money too.
Well, yeah, but
she's in finance in New York.
But I hope not, though, because for the sake of the show, because if she didn't and there's a divorce, then she could take a bunch of Hap's company, and we know he won't like that.
Please. This is Hap's third marriage, or at least second marriage. If he doesn't have his wives signing prenups, he's an idiot. We know he's not an idiot.
I hope he's soap opera stupid, just for the drama.
She's a smart businesswoman too. I remember the daughter said, when you married my father, or you had your merger.
Right.
And that was a tough one.
Yeah, there's for sure a prenup there.
I hope. I'm with
it was
you.
a business transaction. Sorry.
I hope there's not a prenup, because I think it'll bring more excitement to the show. Because the show's kind of going in snooze type of thing, but
a little bit.
But if she didn't sign a prenup, then they could be like, oh, here she comes. She's going to take half the company. Now she's making her own oil. Like, they could really like build off of it to the point where it's like, okay, I'm invested. Let's do this.
I don't think there would be a divorce. I think she would blackmail him in some way to be able to keep half the company or whatever. She would stay involved, and she'd be like, fine, I'm going to keep living in this mansion, and I'm going to keep running the company, and we don't have to share the same bedroom, but blah, 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 blah. I'm keeping all my money and power, and because XYZ, and I'll, whatever.
And not to make the comparison again, but just like Revenge.
Well, she was in Revenge. Yeah,
She
so
was
it makes
on
it
Revenge.
easy.
She was the best on that
She
show.
makes it easy to,
Loved her on that. I don't think they utilize her enough. I want to see more of her, and I think you're right, Howard, with the coming up, like, she's going to play a bigger role, I think, as things unroll out. But I just want to see more of her. She's such a good actress, and she brings such a dramatic, like, Victoria Grace and shade.
And she's so beautiful, and she always has such good clothes on.
Yeah.
Everyone on the show is so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why with all these ridiculous things that keep happening, I'm like, but they're just so beautiful. That's how you believe it. You're like, you know what? That would happen to them.
Because they're just
so beautiful.
They're like the popular kids from high school, just grown up. Everything just
some random North Dakota town.
I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, but I'll keep watching you, Chace Crawford. I'll keep watching.
I need to see at least one ugly person, though. I feel like not everybody is
Gary.
cute.
Sorry.
Poor Gary.
Oh,
Poor Gary.
That guy.
Poor Gary.
Well, he's slipping out in the night. He got the Wick's watch and some catering cash money very conveniently placed in that kitchen, if I will say. So now, I thought we were going to be done with him, but we see him next week. We'll get to predictions coming up. But I thought for sure we were done with him. But, oh well. Clifton is back, and this is somebody else I didn't think we would see. I know we mentioned that he was only going to be in the first 2 episodes initially.
Yeah.
So
that's what IMDb said. 2 episodes. So they must have something must have changed and gotten updated because we see he is back.
And he's not happy with Billy at the top. He's saying, like, I hate you more than I hate Hap. So, of course, Billy spent the majority of this episode sulking in bed, which I didn't like that. Which I want him to be like that live character, but I get when you're down, you're down. So, But then they ended up kind of teaming up and being kind of buddies, I guess, like a mentor,
Revenge duo. Let's take down Hap together. Yeah.
And we're introduced to Emma, the granddaughter, who just happens to know everything there is about geology.
Oh, yeah, she's a geologist, conveniently.
Because she read that book when she was 10 or whatever. She was an odd child, as she pointed out.
Yes. And the whole life savings that Clifton has is $100,000, and that's exactly how much they can use to get some more land. And then there's a land auction, and then they go to this land auction, and we saw what happened there, of course, by them, trying. They thought they had. I thought for sure it was going to be like an easy, like it's going to be exactly $100,000, like we've seen so many deals prior on the show, but it didn't go that way. What did you think of the twist with Hap?
I thought the twist was just going to be that they had to bid more and then figure it out, sort of thing, like scramble together the money, and then of course there's a online bidder that turns out to be Hap, and I love how Hap is just still keeping tabs on what Billy's doing, because he knows that Billy is resourceful and pretty shrewd when it comes to business opportunities. In a sense, he knows that he's very hungry for it, so he's keeping his eye on him and just swoops it right from him. So
it was interesting when Billy said to Hap, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was about to say. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, AfterBuzzers. Obviously, it wasn't that good.
But then Billy going to call Hap out afterwards, like,
yes.
meanie, like, come on, Billy, get over it. Jeez, that seemed a little ridiculous. How do you live with yourself?
Really?
Boo-hoo.
You came all the way to ask that hypothetical question.
I know, I loved how
And who
calling
would
him out.
ever really do that? Who would go and ask that question to
Exactly.
someone?
Who would
Especially
really
someone
know?
you're afraid of. I mean, I guess he's not. I mean, I would be afraid of Hap at that point.
I guess.
It's like going up to your boss and being like, why are you like that?
Hap shut him down. Hap said, look, for every me, there's a million you. Bye.
I loved it.
Yeah.
He threw him right out. So I I kind of like, because I like the bad guy, you know.
Me
so.
too. Love
Those
it.
one-liners. They're so
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, good one-liners. I will agree.
So where did things end with relation to where they were going to go? I know that Billy got the book. That's like a 60-year-old book about all, you know, the land and all that. And, you know, Emma sniffing around Billy's house was... You know, and it was a nice moment, but I thought, you know, maybe we thought something might happen there, but I'm glad it didn't for now. Although I will say that Cody is like, kind of like not really on the show. She doesn't do much.
I feel like she's just always whining about like Billy doing things without her, like blah, you know.
I want to see her kind of take a stand, and maybe this time she can kind of turn things around for Billy, as opposed to just waiting for him to do everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I for sure think that there's going to be some flirty moments between Billy and Emma, and Cody's going to see it. Because they're so, like, lovey-lovey, everything's perfect, like, you know, with other people being like, oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculous, you're going to make me throw up, sort of thing. I think there's going to be some drama between the little lovebirds.
I agree. I saw that today, too, that spark,
Yeah.
when she brought him a book. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, Emma, Billy, question mark, question mark, question mark, like,
I thought-
very excited.
I thought Cody was going to come home early and find her there.
Because she's very perceptive.
yeah.
She saw the flirting between Finn and the person with the...
Ada, yeah.
Yeah, Ada. So she's perceptive. She'll know.
Yeah.
She'll know.
Another character who I don't really see doing too much on the show is Lacey. I'm trying to get more of a feel for this girl, but we did see things coming to an end, coming to a head at the end of the show. We can get to that in a moment, but I don't know. How do you feel about this character? She's kind of lost on me.
Yeah.
Well, we know that she's going to be around the whole season. She keeps saying, oh, I have to go back to California and finish my degree. And Hap keeps trying to convince her. And we know from like IMDb and stuff, she's around the whole season. So figuring out what her purpose is will be interesting. Hap wants her to kind of come in and help run the business. And we know she's super smart, and at the end, Hap's like, oh, you know, your brother, like, eventually he's going to make me proud or make me happy. You already do. You're, like, the kid I always wish I had, sort of thing, even though you are my kid. Anyway, so I feel like she's going to start coming into the business more, and, yeah. But I think she's there how in, like, a bigger way.
I think she's there to take down Carla.
I agree.
You can tell she hates her.
Yeah, I need to know a little bit more. Yeah, I want to know a little bit more what the dynamic is between them, what really happened. There's been a lot of shade thrown, but...
Yeah, because I don't see the reason for taking down Carla, aside from just feeling like their relationship is based on, business convenience and a merger sort of thing. I don't see what's so awful about Carla besides being the stepmom.
Yeah, what does Lacey know some dirt on Carla that we would love to see? Because I know that would be great.
Is she having her own secret affair? Because right now, I mean, I like her character. She is cold and doesn't give us a whole lot, but at the same time, I just kind of feel bad for her. She's getting cheated on and stuff, and
I kind of feel bad, but I kind of don't, because I think Carla really has something. She's waiting on something.
Oh, yeah.
It's like she's sitting on this landmine, and she's like, do whatever you want. As soon as you do one more thing, I'm going to set it off.
Oh, yeah. She is definitely manipulative and scheming.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think she just soaks it all up and is waiting for the moment. But right now, I don't really dislike her in any way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when Lacey gets all like, the merger, and jabs at her and stuff. I just feel like Lacey's being immature.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? Like, why are you doing this, Lacey? Chill out. So
maybe Lacey.
I feel like we need to see a little bit more of that dark side from Carla, aside from just hinting at it.
I agree. Yeah. Let's talk about the birthday party itself, which was, I always like when they bring everyone together in the same room, and then you see where people of lie and all that. It was good.
And you love the big showy stuff too.
I do.
You're like, I want to see the big party.
I love all that. I just see everyone dressed up, just see everything come together, and it was a nice cake. It looks good. I give it my approval. But Cody showed up, and she made a huge deal with Billy about how they had to go, and I was like, why are these two going to Hap's house? How are they even invited?
Yeah.
Because Carla made it a point that she planned this birthday party, so why would they invite them? It's just, there's no more relationship there. They cut those ties.
I feel like with the public face sort of thing. Carla and Hap, well, more so Carla, wants to be polite, like to the end sort of thing, so that everyone likes them, or at least can see them as the bigger person potentially.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's fine if they like invite everybody, but for them to want to go, like, I'm sorry, but I guess Jules is kind of Cody's only friend.
Because they had
but they're
that
not
one
that
scene
close. That one
together.
scene where they pointlessly passed wine bottles,
I love
like
that you love
1
that.
foot apart.
yeah. I love that.
Joey
She
Grant,
loves
like,
that.
so inefficient. Stop it. But
Yeah,
it just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, like it was news to me that they were friends. Like, I mean, I figured they were acquaintances about town. I didn't know they were friends, but all right, okay,
Right?
I'll buy it.
If I were Billy, I'd be like, well, let's go out to dinner with her, like in a day or something,
Yeah.
and like actually spend time with her and get to chat because we're friends, sort of thing, and not go to Hap's party. But at the same time, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah. Did anyone else find it odd that he sent his wife to the devil's house by herself?
Not really.
No.
No. I don't know. Just because like things are so bad between them. I didn't feel that way either, but I'm just trying to play the other side. So we have different opinions. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know. He sent her like the relationship's in a bad place. Why would he even like send her by herself? So I would have taken one for the team and just went with her so she had someone to be with.
I would have done that
You
too.
know, but
Billy was kind of being a little pouty baby.
But then we wouldn't have been able to see Emma come over.
Yeah, that's true. Very
That was a
convenient.
big plot point.
Yes. So let's take a moment and talk about how Jules and Carla are going to have lunch, and I want to see that scene play out.
I know.
And so we talked about, we feel the heat between the moment between when Hap and Jules had their moment with the necklace. Did anyone find it odd she was wearing this necklace to the party? I thought it was kind of fitting.
Of course not. I'm like, for sure she's gonna wear the necklace, and like it's in a way she's gonna like flaunt that she's there with Wick wearing the necklace, but then also it's such like a message to Hap too, you know. So of course she was gonna wear it.
It'd be weird if she didn't wear it.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
So during the happy birthday song, AJ went in and he got all the information needed from the computer very quickly. And that kind of turned on him, as we saw, when, of course, smart Hap, knowing everything going on around him, called him out about it, and his daughter helped him out. And, you know, it was a pretty good scene overall. And I like that Hap is going to use this guy to his advantage.
Yes.
He's like, unpack that bag. Now you're working for me.
Yeah,
More,
exactly.
you
I
know?
always wanted a guy on the inside.
Yeah. So I like it. Very resourceful, very smart. I would be remiss if he didn't use him, you know, for himself, for him, his own
like
biz. Yeah.
I'm still curious who exactly Van Ness is, because we see her at the police station when Sheriff is questioning Gary. She comes in and says some stuff.
Don't say anything. Yeah, don't say anything.
And then
about anything.
and then she's meeting with AJ too. So is she the DA?
See,
Is,
I didn't
who
think
exactly.
I didn't think that was the same person.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah.
It was.
It was? I thought they
pretty
were two
sure.
different people too.
I just thought I thought it was just like a day player coming in to play the lawyer, so I wasn't paying that close
Oh, it
attention.
was. No, it was. It was. It is.
It was two different people?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
My bad. I was like, this seems so weird.
Yeah, that would be odd. Like,
Okay.
even I couldn't connect the dots like
feel
at
like they were-
all.
okay,
That's
okay.
like some
Yeah.
Good to know. Scratch that from the record.
Oh, good. No problem. So, this woman, she wants to get everything within 36 hours, and she's looking for the report. Oh, God, the USGS
Yes.
survey.
Yes.
And, this is something that came up, I believe, in episode 1, still very much put attention. Now, Hap has distributed a fake version, so he's covered his tracks once again pretty
How
smartly.
did he do that so quickly?
He probably
know.
just had it on the side. He was probably like, another one? Okay, gotta get my fake one.
Just in case. Or he's like telling some other partner, just, like, oh, hey, I've got this survey, like leading other people off the track too. But yeah, I mean, how hard? It's not like this survey is illegal to have, right? They just got it early.
Yeah,
right?
they got it early. I don't know if it's public yet, though.
Right.
I don't believe it's public.
Can't
And
imagine
that's why
they're
Saudi
the only
Arabia would
people
want it.
that get their hands on it.
So my prediction from last week was kind of correct, that AJ is Ahmed now, and he's from Saudi Arabia, and he's supposedly a prince, but they haven't said anything about that yet, so who knows.
Right.
But now that he's going to hang around, maybe now Lacey can step up her game. You know, we could see more. I want to see a little bit more from her. I want to see like Hap's daughter in action. So, as we look forward, let's take a moment and predict what's coming up next.
Okay. Ooh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, shoot. I don't know exactly.
Well, it looks like Billy has some information.
Right. We see that Billy finds out about Jules and Hap. Gary gets set up somehow, and then somebody yells to call 911. So I am going to say that Gary is the one that gets hurt somehow. Gary or the sheriff. I hope it's not the sheriff, so I'm going to go with Gary. Just put my hopes in that basket so that it comes true. And I think Billy... do we think Billy sees Hap and Jules? Or just... calls his bluff sort of thing and backs him into a corner. I think he sees it. I think he's going to see it. They're not going to be careful enough because as we're watching, she's getting a text from Hap, says Hap on it.
I know.
And the text like shows up in the message. I'm like, girl, if you are messing around, like
Yes.
change the name or something. Or
I wrote that down too. I was like, why does it clearly say Hap on it?
Yeah,
That's
like
so stupid.
Bob.
Yeah.
You know, something else.
Like-
especially when you're dating his son.
I know. Like if you're
so
around
true.
this guy all the time and you can read the message as it just pops up, as opposed to having to swipe and open the
Right.
phone and put in a code or whatever. I mean, it's like cheating 101.
Yeah.
I've never even done it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like text message privacy 101 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I predict that Gary's going to bite the dust next week. I think
ready.
it's going to be it for him.
ready.
But it'll be interesting now to see how the secret gets kept, you know, without having Gary there for the sheriff to kind of, you know, leverage. But that sheriff's pretty smart, so I don't know. Wick, I think your J's are numbered.
I know. What loose ends did they leave untied? Ooh.
I'm Billy and Emma. I think that's definitely going to happen. For sure. Something is going to happen there.
Like
There's
something like real line crossing or just more flirty?
Line
Cody walks
crossing.
in and thinks, line crossing.
I think there might be. Because Cody seems to be, she's doing her own thing. She's got the food truck. She's got
baby?
the baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there could be some drama there.
Oh, okay.
And it would be great.
That would be pretty soapy. Yes.
It would be pretty soapy. Yeah.
All right, Howard, what do you think?
I think that Gary is gonna bite the dust because you saw in the next one his face was all black and blue and bruised up, so he's getting ready to go in a little bit. I also think that when Carla and Jules sit down for this meeting, Carla is going to spill the beans and like, listen, I know what you're doing with my husband.
Yeah.
I understand. I see the little things. You know, I've been with this man for a while, and I want to bring you in. I think Carla and Jules are gonna team up together.
Ooh, I think that's a good projection.
Yes, because I just believe nothing hurts more than your mistress and your wife coming together.
I wouldn't see Jules going along with that because she still loves Hap.
True, but I think when we saw in this episode, she was like, Hap, I'm
Oh yeah,
tired of
she
you.
decided
Yeah.
to move on.
Right.
Cody told her to
Move
move
on,
on.
yeah.
She left the
Got a
necklace,
broken
so
heart.
maybe
She's ready. She is ready.
Jules
and I'm
left
ready
her
for that.
Jules.
Oh hey,
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
She is done, so surprise. I mean, I don't know. She picked the younger, stronger man, I guess. It's awful, but yeah, you know, she's moving. She seems to like she was so happy by the part with the party, and Wick was like, "Oh yeah, it was nothing. He didn't even plan it.
I know.
He didn't even
Yeah.
plan the party.
he stole the caterer money.
Yeah, I don't, those people,
my
people are gonna get paid.
But isn't it terrible that Wick is such a terrible person, but you still like him, or at least I do. There's still something charming about him and something that I like.
He's
about
been
him.
so like crapped on by his dad his whole life, so he's a
Yeah.
little pathetic. You know,
Yeah.
so you just feel for him. You're like, come on, Wick, straighten out your life, get your dad's approval.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good-looking guy, and I feel like he's just really just wants to be like. I feel like he doesn't want to be bad. I feel like he doesn't want to be bad, and
Yeah.
that's where we're like, you know, he's not like mustache twirling, like trying
Right.
to try to screw his father over. You know?
And I think in the beginning, it seemed like he was, in the first couple episodes, it seemed like he was heading down the track of being like a very stereotypical bad guy. And that felt, to me, a little cheesy and forced. So I do like that we've definitely seen more character depth with him as it, you know, as the show's progressed.
Definitely.
And so I like that a lot, where he's more the conflicted bad guy, and maybe is like, oh, I made a mistake. I don't want to keep going down that route. So
yeah,
it's almost like he's coming out of his rebellious years.
Yeah.
He was rebellious, he was going against mom and dad, and now he's like, oh, but actually they have a really good thing going, and maybe I should be a part of it.
Well, I mean, he really did hit like rock bottom.
Yeah, pulling a gun on your dad.
So there's nowhere else you can really go from there. So yeah, and
well, he might end up in jail by the end of the season. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, those are our predictions. You can keep the conversation going with us on Twitter. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me, Howard III, on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me, Amanda Richards, at AmandaFTA31 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, everywhere at Lauren Salaun. That's LAUREN SALAUN.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. And you can find me on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. For Blood and Oil, that'll do it for us.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.